Manser, you claim you spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
And it was never proven that you are his biological father.
That's right.
Now, Ms. Sear, you say you have proof that Mr. Manser is Dylan's father. You argue you are here to prove again that he is the father of your son, to finally stop him running from his responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Manser, explain to the court the circumstances surrounding your arrest.
Well, Your Honor, I'm here to explain that 12 hours of my life cost me 5 years in the Department of Corrections. She was a friend of my aunt. She was best friends with my aunt. We all lived in the same little community. She lived across the street. I knew of her. I knew her. I've spoken to her. But as far as intimacy, we was together one time. And I hate to be crude, but it was a one-night stand.
I don't care what your version was. I was far from a one-night stand.
Living across the street from each other?
Far from a one-night stand.
My wife's going to be upset because I live across the street from somebody and I'm not dating them.
Oh, if I was your wife, I wouldn't trust you for nothing.
I don't think after all of this that has transpired, it really matters whether it was a one-night stand or a two-day trip.
My biggest concern.
The point is you all had a sexual relationship at some point, so there is a possibility that he's the father of your son, Dylan.
Possibility.
Okay.
I didn't find out anything about the child until I was served with papers in 1995.
And so you showed up for court, and what happened?
No, I wasn't able to show up for court. I was completely on the other side of the state. I was indigent. I was living at my mom's, didn't have a job at the time. So I didn't show up for court, and I was named the natural father by default.
And then what happens?
And then I was charged criminally for not paying the child support that was ordered in the default judgment.
So how did you get arrested?
That came 3 years later after I still didn't pay child support, still wasn't able to pay. I still had doubt. I've never, to this day, thank God for your show, or I'd never know for sure whether or not I was the natural father. Never.
If you would have showed up for court, you would have known.
I couldn't show up for court.
Why?
There's a lot of people.
I got there.
You live in the same town.
Well, I got there just fine.
I'm sure you did.
I wasn't busy running away from everybody.
Did you? That's right.
You didn't pay child support for about 8 years. Quit telling them it's 3 years. It was about 8 years.
The court order was 1995. I got arrested in 1998, so that's 3 years in my calculation. 12 years. And then I went to prison for 5 years. When I got out of prison in 2003, I paid child support from that day until just February of last year when I lost my job.
Only because they garnished your wages.
Absolutely, that's what they do. And I actually asked my public defender, where's the proof? I've yet to see proof that the child's mine. He said that they obtained my DNA through a sample that was already on file. That's what she's claimed this whole time.
For a daughter you didn't raise too.
So, that's right.
Your evidence clearly states that there was a laboratory test performed.
Yes, ma'am.
I see here.
I don't think it happened. I think she worked in the lab and that she's had this thing manufactured. So.
This is what movies are made of. Now, Miss Sear,
I am good at my job, but I'm not that good.
Well,
did you work at a lab?
I did. Actually, at that time, I worked at a plasma center. I harvested plasma with 16-gauge needles. Had nothing to do with DNA.
I'm sure that, you know, when you're in a business, you know other people that's in the business.
Now, what's interesting to me is that as I go through this evidence and I get to the information that is also included in the collection of the samples, I do see that for alleged father, it's entirely blank.
That's right.
Meaning
imagine that.
There is no social security number.
That's right.
There is no address.
She forgot to put that part in there.
There is no information about you. It's all blank. There's no picture of you. There's no photograph.
She didn't have that information. That's right. Exactly.
So, obviously, your contention that you didn't show up, you weren't there for this particular test is true.
Right.
Because there's no evidence that you were there on that day.
That's exactly right. Thank you,
We've established
Your Honor.
that.
Thank you.
We do, however, see a lab record of a collection taken on May the 1st, 1995, which they claim was you.
The date of May when they put on there underneath the Ascension number, that is when they pulled a sample out of the freezer.
Ms. Sear, I see the laboratory results of the testing with a probability of paternity of 99.67%.
Well, you're the
Do
second
you know, man,
person.
that he said 99.67 means he still might not be the father when he heard that number?
Now, listen,
you can't pretend.
Mr. Manser, let me say this to you. What I do believe that's missing in all of this evidence is I don't see any information relating to the collection of the sample from Mr. Manser. You've met Dylan, Miss Sears' son.
I originated that.
Were you like brothers, Chris?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You had a relationship.
Yeah, I've felt he was my brother since I met him.
So you've seen your father treat Dylan well?
Yes, absolutely.
I've been withdrawn, I've been distant, but that's because of the doubt that I've had, you know?
You didn't even...
I've had doubt.
So, Mr. Manser, you claim this has destroyed your life.
Absolutely.
You've had a pretty decent life. You didn't give up
but it ain't got
anything.
nothing-
My son graduated high school,
I
Billy
think
Joe.
it's time we meet Dylan. Jerome, will you please escort Dylan into the courtroom,
Certainly.
please? Hello, Dylan.
How are you?
Thank you for joining us. Now, Dylan, I want to know about your relationship with your father.
I feel I don't know him that well.
We don't. We don't know each other.
Go ahead, son.
I love Chris, though. We've spent a lot of time together.
Your brother.
Yep.
We're gonna be brothers no matter what. No matter what happens after today.
I've only met
Would
my
you
little
like
brother.
to have a relationship with Mr. Manser?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I can't respect someone talking so much harmful to my mother
See,
like
and
that.
that's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do that.
The lab, because of the sensitivity of this issue, ran 2 tests. The results are as follows. In the case of Manser versus Sear, as it pertains to 20-year-old Dylan Sear, Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison. Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. This is why. This is why I did what I did.
But this is
and acted.
nothing I made up. The lab did
You
it.
made it all up. You
No,
made
I
those-
did not.
Well, those results
I
apparently
don't know
are made
any
up.
of those people on that form.
Oh, my God.
This is clearly the most shocking
Very much.
news we've ever gotten in this courtroom.
Oh, my God. She should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. I did
Mr.
not.
is
Manser,
fraud.
Mr. Manser,
That is fraud.
I know you're upset. I know it's overwhelming. I need a moment with Dylan because I want to make sure he understands. Do you want to find out who your father is?
Of course.
Miss Sear, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
Yes, I talk to him still.
Listen,
Get away from my son.
he apologized.
And under another breath, he's calling me a liar.
You cannot stand there and really suggest that you cannot comprehend why this man would not have any type of ill feeling, frustration, or regret as it relates to anything involving you. 5 years in prison. And then I say, do you know who your son's father is? And you say, yes, I'm still in touch with him. That is a really huge pill to swallow. Ms. Jackson, you say Mr. Figures was a smooth-talking Casanova who swept you off your feet and out of your clothes and then left you with a baby.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim Mr. Figures disappeared 20 years ago, and now you want to prove that he is definitely your son, Daniil's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Figures, you admit to being a former ladies' man, but you say there's no way you fathered Ms. Jackson's child. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. When you find out you're pregnant,
Wow.
Yeah.
do you let Mr. Figures know?
When I found out, I thought I had a stomach virus or something. So when I went to the infirmary, you know what I'm saying, they gave me a pregnancy test. I'm stunned. I'm actually in shock. I don't have my family. So I'm really trying to
But she also had
focus
another
on
guy that she was dealing with at the same time. Why you coming to me telling me?
Dealing with.
Y'all the one that had sex together.
Hold on a minute.
Well,
dealing
sir,
with.
You wasn't even there, so.
Dealing with.
You know.
Let her testify. Let her testify.
Dealing with someone, meaning he had my back. Don't meaning we having sex.
Come on, man.
It didn't come to, but the person that he's talking about, he even went to him and told him, you know she's carrying my baby.
See what I'm saying?
Mr. Figures,
so-
so you admitted that
Who? Say, I went to the guy and told him that?
that's what she testified.
No.
Did you admit to that?
No. I didn't go to him and tell him that.
You know she carried my baby.
No, I went to him
because
and
when
said,
later on that day, he came to me
what
and was
I
like,
said to him
why
was,
is
do you know that this is what she's saying?
Your Honor,
he said, yeah, but at the same time, they're supposed to be dealing with each other. Then he comes back and says, well, that he's going to take care of a child or you know. So how can you say, how do I know that it's not his or it's mine or, I don't know. It's like she's just putting on
Your
somebody.
Honor,
I don't know what's going on.
This man, till this day, is still
in my life.
In the picture.
Okay,
we didn't have
good.
sex. It's just he's in the
all
picture.
that's
We're
good.
all in Job Corps.
All
and
that
he
is good,
knows
but
like
can I
I'm
say this?
pregnant.
Can I
and
say
that
this,
he's Mr.
Yeah.
Casanova.
I want to give Mr. Figures a chance to respond.
From my perspective of things, you have this friend that's in your life or whatever, and that's good. But at the same time, when you telling everybody that you dealing with this person, here it is a week later, you having sex with me again.
How was it growing up without a dad and having to watch your mother, help your mother, try to find the man she believes is your father? How has this affected you, young man?
It was, we had hard times, rough times. We've been through thick and thin. And she always told me don't run from your problems, so I don't run from my problems. I stick with her through thick and thin. So
He needs to know.
And that's the reason why I'm here.
Your Honor, I have other children, and they dad come into their life. They come in, they take them places. They go here, they go there. You know what I'm saying? And it's always been me and him. He don't have nobody. I'm all he has, and he is all I have. What if I die tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? Where's he gonna go? My other kids can go somewhere. Where's he gonna go? And that's been eating me for 20 years, that I have this man. I got you in the palm of my hand, like I got your social security number. Why is it taking the state of Georgia 20 years to even swipe his mouth?
Yeah, and that wasn't my fault.
Oh, I'm not blaming him.
You ain't never taken the initiative to do anything.
Like I said, if I didn't know how to get in touch with you, how can I? I may have
so many
you,
social media networks here. You can find anybody here.
I'm not.
So
I'm
that's
not
not
a
an
social.
excuse. That's an excuse.
You can find
You're
without a name.
not sounding like no man right now. You're not sounding like a man right now. You're not sounding like a man right now. You're not sounding like a man.
Without a name?
Yes, you can find anything with a name.
Okay, but look.
Hold on, Mr. Figures, are you suggesting that you did not know Miss Jackson's last name?
I did not.
And you
know
didn't even know your own potential son's name?
I did not. I knew nothing.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Figures, you are not the father.
Oh my God.
20 years, huh? For this. I hope you find that, because everybody should know who their people are. My dad wasn't there for me either. So I'm sorry for you, man. I really hope you do find out who your father is.
It's fine.
I have to ask you, respectfully, do you know who? For 20 years.
Yeah, but he's been there all along. My God.
Does he have any clue that he is Daniil's biological father?
No.
This is one of the biggest shockers ever. I do not know the results.
Oh my God.
I don't know what they are, but I did not see this coming, Ron. So this child's father has been in his life almost his whole life, and he didn't know it was his father?
It's not almost. His whole life. He's
So he
been
good.
there.
Daniil, Babe, I wanna know how you feel. Is this surreal for you? Is it almost unbelievable?
I mean, the other guy been here, so it makes more sense. I feel more better if it was him, because, like, he's been there. So it makes more sense.
You and your brother, Mr. Hunt, are suing your mother and your father for a paternity test. You claim that just 2 weeks ago they dropped a bomb during an argument. You say in the heat of the moment they inadvertently revealed that it was possible your dad, Mr. Jacobs, is not your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jacobs, you say since the time they were babies, you are the only father your children have ever known.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Razor, tell us about the argument you and your brother overheard.
I started to hear a lot of noise in my mom's bedroom. He coming out the room, going to the kitchen saying, well, those ain't my kids anyway, so I was doing you a favor and left out the door. Yes, really? Yes, really.
Your mother made a comment that really didn't sit too well with me, and it hurt me. You guys didn't hear the whole comment.
You know, I was just mad. You know I was mad. I was just mad. It was out of anger.
So, Ms. Hammonds, you're admitting that in the heat of the argument, you said this statement. You made this statement to Mr. Jacobs that you're not their father anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
But it was just in the heat of the moment, you said.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was only 2 weeks ago that this all came to a head. 2 weeks ago.
Well, Your Honor, I have to say this. It's been longer than 2 weeks ago. It's just that this argument sort of brought everything out.
And
Your
when
Honor,
you heard that, immediately you felt...
I was in shock. I was just like, how you just gonna, despite the argument, how you just gonna leave without saying bye, hug? They argued, that's cool. But when you got your children and you arguing with your spouse, that don't got nothing to do with us. You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying.
Your Honor.
Mr. Hunt, you'd like to add something?
Yes, Your Honor. I was sitting in the living room playing video games with my friends. I overheard what he said, and it messed me up. And when he walked out the house, I was sitting in a state of
Your Honor,
shock.
can I interject,
So you overheard this as well?
Yes, I did. Me and my friends, actually. And I was just sitting there like, whoa. Like,
We was having a get together. Everybody was at the house.
So, Mr. Jacobs, did you make that comment?
Yes, I did, Your Honor, but I don't believe my children heard the whole comment.
It had me so stressed out, Your Honor, where I went on Facebook and I thought the whole world was against me, and I posted, I'm crying gangster tears.
And you know, I'm the stronger one. Even though I'm the little sister, I act like the big sister, but for him to make that statement was just ridiculous.
All
right, Mom.
Because
so
they didn't hear the whole comment.
For him to make that statement, why did you make that statement? Why did you say what you said for him to say what he said?
Because maybe he's not your father, Precious.
What
maybe he's not.
What you mean?
Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's not.
So what you was doing, Ma?
Miss Hammonds?
May I just say something, please,
me,
Your Honor?
your daughter is asking for clarification.
I'm 26 years old, okay? This is the only man that I know for all my life. He's been there for my kindergarten graduation, my 6th grade graduation. How many men do you know sit in a delivery room with their daughter when they're having a baby, okay? For you to make that statement and for him to... Listen, is there something that you need to tell us? Is there something that you need to tell me?
Maybe.
Ms. Razor, Mr. Farmer, the man in question, has agreed to take a paternity test. And he's joining us from his hometown. We're here with Ms. Razor, and you agreed to take a DNA test.
Yes, I was at that cookout.
You said that this was your friend.
Just 1 second, Ms. Razor.
You didn't say you was sleeping.
I'm sorry, Mr. Farmer. Wow. Did you have a relationship with Ms. Hammonds?
You called this your brother.
Yes, we had a physical relationship. It wasn't a relationship.
You call that your brother.
Ms. Hammonds, were you intimate with Mr. Farmer? Is what he's saying true?
That's
yes,
Uncle Tommy.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. That's just nasty. That's just nasty.
Wow.
That is not my father. That's not my father.
Precious.
No.
There's a possibility I could be your father.
You never knew he existed?
No, you're right. I shouldn't have known you existed. Look what you're doing to my family.
I didn't do anything to your family.
Say this to you, Mr. Farmer.
It was already done.
When we leave this courtroom today, my son and daughter is going to be leaving with me, regardless to what that paper says. Farmer might be there by name and name only. Those are mine.
Go with her brother, because I'm going with my dad.
Precious.
You can go with your brother.
But you're my daughter.
You can go with your brother.
But you're my daughter.
I know.
Oh, let's get some order. Okay, this is a lot even for me to take in. And I do this daily. And I want you all to take a deep breath. We've got to get through this. Miss Hammonds, you do understand how your daughter feels at this point. She's introduced to this man as this is a family friend. She thought it was a brother-in-law. You called him Uncle Tommy. She had no idea that somewhere around the time she was conceived, you were in a sexual relationship with him. You do understand that,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay. In the case of Razor Hunt versus Jacobs Hammonds, as it pertains to 26-year-old Precious Razor, Mr. Farmer.
Yes.
You are not her father.
Oh my God! Oh! Oh my God! Oh! Oh!
Thank you.
Oh!
Thank you.
Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Miss Razor,
Oh my God!
have a seat.
Oh my God!
Both of you, have a seat.
Oh my God!
Sit down.
Oh my God! Thank you, Jesus.
Are you ready for the next result?
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
In the case of Razor Hunt versus Jacob Hammonds, as it pertains to 26-year-old Precious Razor, Mr. Jacobs, you
All the Father. You are the Father.
are not her father.
No.
This is my daughter right here.
No.
This is my baby right here.
No.
We're gonna get through this, all right? You hear me?
Oh.
Sit down.
Mr. Jacobs, please try to sit her down.
Sit down right here.
She should
Sit
be
down.
okay.
No, leave me.
Sit down. The judge got to finish reading the paper. Sit down right here. Oh, yeah, take this.
As it pertains to 33-year-old Hector Hunt, Mr. Jacobs, you are not Hector's father.
Oh, you is scandalous.
But you don't know. It's other things.
Jerome, could you go please see if you could help Mr. Hunt?
Scandalous. Oh,
Let me get my kids. Let me get my children.
she is scandalous.